So as you know, I moved from New York City to Detroit 3 weeks ago. So I listen, I am in the 313. I have eaten a Coney dog. I have had the better made potato chips. I have fought with people about the West Side and the East Side. And I get annoyed when people say they're from Detroit, but then you find out they live in Bloomington Hills or whatever the hell, Troy. That's not Detroit. If you're going to live in Detroit, you better be in Detroit. So I have learned these things, and I have heard people argue about churches, and I've heard people talk about where's the best singers, and I've gone to the Motown Museum, and I have listened. So I just decided, why not have JeeMell Green? JeeMell Green is coming to New York to do shows at 54 Below, and I'm coming to Detroit because, JeeMell Green, tell me about Detroit. Where are we going to sing? What are we going to do? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Robert. How are you?
I am so excited to be here, and I need to be will you be my friend?
I'm already your friend, Robert. Like, you got me. Like, hands up, you got me.
I have my in-laws here. I have my partner here. But I don't have people here.
You got me, Robert. Like, that's it. And you've been here for 3 weeks now. So if not this weekend, next weekend, lunch done. It's a done.
I close on my house tomorrow.
Congratulations.
I'm a real Detroiter now, y'all.
Real Detroiter. Let's go.
And in the city. Don't give me no Royal Oaks and Ferndale and
or Ypsilanti. They love to say Ypsilanti. That's 40 minutes away.
No. So tell me, you sing up and down, you skrelt and belt, you do Broadway, you do gospel, you do R&B, you sing.
Right. First of all, thank you. The fact that I'm here is as one of my friends will say, number a joy. So the fact that I'm here, I'm grateful that you saw talent in me to allow me to be here. So yeah, a little bit about me. I don't consider myself a singer. I'm just a church boy who just had the opportunity to grow up in this thing and learn this thing and do all types of music. So I'll say since 2003, I grew up a Baptist boy. And then in 2003, my mom and I transitioned to Great Emmanuel Institutional Church of God in Christ, which is now the church of the presiding bishop of the Churches of God in Christ, Bishop J.J. Sheard. And my first lady just so happens to be Grammy Award-winning Kierra Sheard.
So you go to the Sheard Church.
Correct.
JeeMell, will you take me?
Go. You can come this Sunday. You come next Sunday. You tell me when you're ready to come.
Okay.
We'll make it happen.
Because I know you know Kiki, and I know
I'll give you a story. I sang background for Kiki. That's how I got my start in the business. I was a Kiki background singer.
And Kiki has been on the show.
Yes, that's why I'm like, I'm here.
And we love Kierra, and we love the Clark sisters, and we love Detroit because it's where the real singers come from.
Yeah.
And so you sang it, started at church. And when I hear you sing and I watch your Instagram videos, and I love people because my partner comes from church. His parents are pastors. They're pastors at the Salvation Army.
Okay.
He grew up singing in church, and church singing is a whole thing because you're an alto today and you're a soprano tomorrow, and you're not tomorrow, the next song, mid-song.
Right now, mid-song.
So how do you learn that? How do you learn harmony singing in church?
That's good. So like I said, growing up at Great Emmanuel, it's like you have to always be ready. So I grew up, Kierra, literally the year I joined, Kierra was recording her freshman album. And so even in that space, she was over the youth choir and over the youth praise team. So she pulled me in like immediately. And literally, when you learn to sing with Kierra, you have to sing every part. She teaches you. She says someone's voice can go out. So you need to learn to sing every part. And in rehearsal, she's very adamant about you learning everyone's part. So she's not big on you talking in rehearsal because she wants you to learn the soprano part, learn the alto part, learn the tenor part. It's all a learning experience. So mid-song, like you said, I could be singing tenor. And mid-song, she could be like, oh, the alto's weak. She'll say, switch to alto now. You do tenor. And you have to adapt. You have to switch over. So that's how I got my training in the stumping ground. And being around that camp, it's so demanding that you always be on, that you always be ready. And literally since I was 13, 14 years old, I've been doing this professionally because of Kierra Sheard and the likes of the Clark Moss dynasty.
I would be instantly fired. The worst summer, you're a theater fan and you're a Broadway head, and that's something that I did the Music Man as a regional production. I was in the a cappella group. I had to do the baritone part. I could not get it. I was at the gym every day on the treadmill, just listening to it over. I am not switching part. Nope. And then I don't do theater anymore, JeeMell, because I told the last show I did was a music director. It was 4-part harmony. And I said to him, there will be a harmony. It will not be what's on the page, but it will
and it won't be, it might not be 4-part. It might be.
And it will be what it comes out of my mouth. And then I realized that maybe this is not for me.
Get out of here.
You, on the other hand, have also been working towards, and the goal, the bucket list item is Broadway and theater. When did that bug hit you? When did you say, I need to sing, I want to be on Broadway?
So it's so crazy. So outside of being at Grady Emanuel, I went to Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland. I stayed for like 8 years. My whole time in Baltimore, I was doing artist management, artist development for different clients. So I've had the opportunity, outside of working with the Clark sisters, I've had the opportunity to work with artists along with, such as Coco of SWV and the legendary Jennifer Holliday. So that was my life. That was my life, was doing that. And I recently got married in 2021. And some things had changed in my life. And my wife, who was extremely supportive, was like, what is it going to take for you to not be behind the talent and become the talent? And so happy that she threw that in me. I said, I really want to do theater. I said, but I'm old now. I just turned 31. I said, I'm old now and no one's going to care about me doing theater. I should have been out here compete with the kids. She said, let's just do it. And it was her zeal of support. As popular as I am and as wonderful as I am, I don't think I ever felt that support like that ever. And ever since she threw it at me, I started my first show last year. I was the lead drifter in Kierra the musical in Adrian, Michigan for their production at the Croswell for their production of Beautiful. And ever since then, I have been auditioning and flying to New York and submitting reels, and it's just really what I want to do. I tell everybody I want to be the next Norm Lewis. So that's just what I want to do.
But no shade to Norm Lewis, because we love Norm Lewis.
We love Norm.
Norm Lewis with range, because Norm has range, but Norm, and he's also the nicest man ever. But you have range.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
Wait, 31.
I'm 34 now.
Yeah, but when you were right, you're 34. He's married. He's got a baby that's the cutest baby ever. Your wife, beautiful. You have the funniest, cutest videos on Instagram. That's why you got to follow, so that you can see the videos. I saw you pumping gas, and that's a whole thing for me, because I come from New Jersey, where we don't pump.
Well, you guys don't pump.
I don't know how to do that. And JeeMell, I need people at the gas station to stop asking me for a cigarette or $1. Can you please leave me alone?
And also, Robert, stop playing. You're in Detroit for real. You better make sure you go to the gas station between 9 and 5.
No, I went to a gas station on the east side, and I went in there because my partner works on the east side, and they said, you have a nice shoes on, and you have a nice, and I said, oh, hell no, it is noon. I'm not getting robbed in the east side gas station.
Go.
Wait, so you come.
I'm sorry, this is good to me. I'm an East Sider, so hey, Detroit, don't fuss at me. Y'all know I fight for the East Side, but I know what you're talking about.
I am you are the Broadway thing is such a certain style. It's such a certain world. It feels like a little community. So how did you get besides your wife giving you courage, how do you get the courage to walk into an audition room and be like, hey, Broadway babies, I'm here. I'm from Detroit. I'm 32, 33, 34, and I'm going to sing.
Yeah. So now I'm the most confident in my voice than I've ever been. Like I said, growing up in a church society where you always have to be ready. First of all, my church alone is a standard. To work alongside with Kierra and the Clark sisters every Sunday, you just gotta be you can't be a punk in this thing. You gotta be ready. So literally to my right every Sunday is Grammy Award winning, the only Grammy Award winners in history to win every category that they were nominated for in the same night. They made history. So literally to your right is Grammy winner. So it's you got to be on. So that fire mixed with my support and my parents are, my mom, I don't know how deep you follow, but my mom, she is the church girl. She is the church lady. She runs that church, basically. They throw her a song any day of the week. I'm trying to live up to her. But you just got to have that zeal. I've never been a shy kid or a shy person. I think my only challenge is walking in the audition room is like, I know I'm in here singing. Are y'all gonna call me back? So that's my new fear. It's like, hello, like y'all didn't hear me sing like this. I'm in here giving my life in here. So that's my latest challenge is the secret rejection in your mind, knowing like you're not for everything and you can't do the work behind the table. So it's not the nerves right now. It's the, I know I did good. What do you guys want from me? So that's my new challenge right now.
I think it's fascinating to me that you sing at church every Sunday. It's fast. I know how hard that is. I know how hard it is to walk into Telsey or Pearl or Ripley Greer and go on an audition in New York City. You're doing some of the tough, and I know how hard it is to work in management. I know Coco is one of the greatest singers of all time.
Yes, she is.
Jennifer Holliday is the greatest, and we love Miss Holliday.
I love, and everyone knows that I love. So I don't ever have to do anything for her again. I was a fan of her talent like forever. So the fact that I even have her number in my phone, the fact that we can text and say, hey, just check it in, is still mind blowing to me. Like, it's a big voice and a big talent, and it's still good. Like, that's why I like to tell people, like, you don't sound like you did 30 years ago. So don't go giving us that. However, she's still killing out here. So yeah, it's crazy.
Killing. So you're an artist because you're like, I want to be a manager. I want to be a singer. I want to be an actor, but you also are a promoter or a producer. You put on events here.
Yeah, so I'm doing a series called R in Church. And so I got the inspiration. I had the opportunity this past April to be invited by Mr. Rashard McPherson to debut at 54 Below in New York. So, you know, we all know 54 Below is iconic. First of all, it's in the basement of Studio 54. So that's a whole nother story. But the fact that I got invited, typically people get invited after they made their Broadway debuts or they've already performed. I haven't made my Broadway debut yet. And so when I got the invitation and they wanted me to do church, I said, of course, I'll do whatever it takes to get there. And so when I went, the energy was amazing. The vibe was just great. Everyone, it was like a no judgment zone. So I literally came back the next month and was like, I'm a church boy that likes R&B, that wants to give theater. Let's do something crazy. So I've done an event that I've been hosting called R in Church, where I do R&B songs that turn to church, or I do church songs that sound a little worldly, and I fuse them together. And when I tell you it's a time, the next one will be, well, since I'm on your show, I can announce we're doing it the end of September. So the last Sunday in September is the next R in Church. So you're the first to hear it.
I'm there. Come on.
We're throwing you the mic, Robert. We're gonna say, here, take it.
I'm gonna take the mic.
Let's go. Let's go.
This spicy mayonnaise.
And I mean, you are gonna tear it up.
I'm gonna tear it up. I ain't scared of you, Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good, you gotta have that zeal. So I'm doing that because of course theater is the dream. I'm gonna get there. I'm not worried. But in the in-between, while I'm waiting on my callbacks and waiting on the land to gig, R in Church is my newfound love. So I call myself the revivalist. And it's like we literally having church with soul music.
Wait, is following you the best place?
Yes, absolutely. Please, my gram is lit. So stay on my gram. My gram is lit.
He's got all the followers over there on Instagram.
And okay, so Robert, can we talk about that? Because you would think that because I have a nice, and shout out to Kierra Sheard for allowing me to have, I'm going to credit Kierra to a lot. So shout out to Kierra. The people are following me because I'm connected to Kierra. But I go in these auditions and I even say, like, I got all these followers. I can help promote our shows. Like, are you not looking at me? And they'll hire the nice little guy with 800 followers and I get sad.
It's
okay. It's going to happen.
But you know, there are, and you've probably been in there. The cast, sometimes when you meet an agent, a manager, or you go to an audition, they ask you about your social media nowadays. Yeah. It's a part.
And so it's on my resume. It's on my resume currently, and it has my number count.
You should. I'm proud of your number. Why do you have 10,000 more followers than me? I'm mad. I'll meet you at a gas station.
You can have some of mine, please. I'm gonna share it with you.
How do you pick the songs in your audition book? Because you have such a vast knowledge of, you have R&B songs, you have gospel songs, then there's Broadway, there's classical Broadway, there's jukebox musicals, there's contemporary Broadway. How do you pick the songs that fit your voice?
That's so great for you to say. So I'm working with a voice teacher out of New York named Jeremiah, and Jeremiah is responsible. All his kids, all his students are on Broadway like right now. So that's why I was like, that's why I want to work with him. My addiction to theater was big sounds, big voices. So anyone knows my dream roles. I want to be the plant in Little Shop. I want to be the lion in The Wiz. I want to be Jimmy Flynn in Chicago. Like I want the big voice guy. I want to be the genie, even though I'm a little smaller. I want to be the genie in Aladdin, or I would like to be Jafar. Could be Jafar. Could be. But anyway, so I like big sounds and I do have a big voice. And so I have to learn now that just because I have a big voice doesn't mean that I have to sing the big song or I don't have to use all my voice. One of my former voice teachers, Loretta Giles from Virginia, she used to say, sing on the interest, not the principal. And so I'm learning now in my rep that I am constantly choosing songs that fit the milk of my voice. Or I'll say the honey of my voice, not necessarily the milk, because I want to last long. I want to be singing in my 60s. My first lady is about to be 65 and is still singing Holy Thou Art Holy in the original key. So like, I want to have that, but it comes with discipline. I live a very disciplined life when it comes to the voice. I live a very disciplined life. If I have an audition on Sunday, everyone knows I'm not doing anything from Wednesday to Sunday. So my playtime ended on Tuesday for me. Also, at my church, we have 2 services. We used to have 3 prior to the pandemic. We used to 8:30, 11:30, and 7 p.m. service. So you got to always have a voice. Your voice can't give out. And Kierra used to teach us, no one wants a singer that can't sing. So you can't come in the room and say, oh, I'm so sorry. The voice, I don't have it. You can't do that. No one wants a singer that can't sing. The job is to sing. So, I'm going through the rep now. I'm changing my rep. I am changing my rep I went from baritone to tenor because I wanted to be the baritone forever. Because I get it. I want to be the baritone forever.
Get it.
And my teachers was like, hey, cut the crap. You're hitting high C's. You're hitting E flats. Cut the crap. Let's go. So that's what I'm doing now. The voice that's why I want it so bad, Robert, because the voice is in its prime. I'm like, don't let me lose this opportunity.
You're only 34. You're only let me tell you the truth. And when I meet you and we have lunch. And
I cannot wait.
I went to Juilliard. I gave it up at 18 years old. I had a whole other life. I went to acting school and started performing at 33. I'm 40. I started again at 33. My whole life changed at 33. My whole life, the journey began at 33, and it took me to places that I never imagined. Doing theater, doing my own show at 54 Below, having this platform or whatever has been something that I never dreamed of because I never allowed myself to. Wow. So you taking the step at 31 and say, I'm going to do theater. Just wait till you give yourself a moment. Wait till you see where you're going to go.
Thank you. I received that. I know I'm going to get there. It's just like in my brain, it's just like, come on.
If you can survive church, and you could sing over there with those singers, then you're good.
Yes.
You're fine.
Thank you.
Listen, you've been around. Miss Holliday used to scare me. She is, I'll tell you about her, but we have done events and things together, and I love her. She has become a person that I adore.
And she knows her music. Like she knows her books. Like she knows. I had to reach out to her. I was like, hey, Miss Holliday, what should I say? And she said, JeeMell, I don't know what the voice does. Let me hear the voice. Let me hear the voice for real. So I had to send her a video. She said, oh boy, this is what the voice is like. And it was like, I was like, oh yes, thanks, Jen. I can say that now, like, thanks, Jen. But she knows so much. She's so smart and articulate about the craft. And that's what I appreciate about her. It's like I didn't have to work for her to obtain her knowledge and her wisdom. She's just so knowledgeable of the craft and of music in totality.
Well, you're learning from the best. You're at church with the best. You work with the best, and that means that you're the best, and that means that you're just going to keep going and singing. Yes. And when my Detroit goal, like you have your New York goal, you have your Broadway goal. My Detroit goal is I want a little spot like the Congregation over on Boston Edison, or a little jazzy moment, and I want to do a show in Detroit. I don't care if 3 people are there.
Oh, it's done. But Robert, so see, now this is a whole can't wait to talk to you offline conversation, because I'm the man with the plan. So like it's done. You can sing in Detroit easily, and you can gig well here. You can gig well here. But we have to talk online, because
I'm gonna have lunch.
You're here, it can work for you.
We're having lunch. I want this. I partner with Broadway in Detroit, and shout out to everybody over on Broadway.
Yes, love Broadway in Detroit. Moulin Rouge is coming.
I will be there on September 17th. Moulin Rouge is coming. But I've learned something. I grew up a mile from New York City in New Jersey. I've never been somewhere where they're craving for art. You know, Detroit gets a reputation because of a bunch of nonsense, but in the art, it's an art city. It is the art city. What's it like when theater rolls into Detroit? What's it like when concerts roll into Detroit?
So I don't miss anything with Broadway in Detroit. Amar, one of my good friends, Amar, will be playing in Moulin Rouge as the Duke. His week, I believe, is September 27th. I believe he's a standby principal, so he's there that time. So that's when I'll be there. But it's a thing I don't miss. And it's so exciting. And I've had the opportunity to work at the Motown Museum as an events manager. And even when the cast of Mamma Mia and those people roll in, the excitement that we have for them and them being in the city is just mind-blowing. But I think what Detroit has offered is Detroit has built this standard and built this bridge of great talent, great history, great legacy, that we appreciate it when great artists and great singers and great musicians come to our city, because it's like, not only are we the standard, but we recognize standards, like your own standards. So theater being the end all be all, Broadway in Detroit partnered with the Fisher and or the Opera House to bring these amazing shows. It's just beautiful. And even if you're not like a musical person, just the acting alone. I went to see To Kill a Mockingbird, and for 3 hours, no intermission, and for 3 hours, just sitting there in awe, weeping, because the talent was so it was so beautiful. It was so amazing. So Detroit, we're spoiled. We're a little spoiled, because outside of the Clark Moss dynasty, let's leave church. You got the Supremes. You have Smokey. You have the Tips. You have all these amazing artists and talents that have come, or not even come, but come through the doors in the city. It's just beautiful to be a part of, and it's beautiful to go to other cities and be like, I'm from Detroit. And it's not a cockiness, but it's like, I'm certain, I'm sure, I'm here, and I know what I'm bringing to the table.
I love a Detroiter because y'all don't play, and you don't mince words, and you're scrappy. And tonight on the live show, because I do a live show at 7:00 on Thursday, and some of your interview will be on in the next week. Things like, there's a new segment where it's called Detroit, and it's like, What Up to Detroit. And last week I chased Uncle Ray's potato chips versus Better Made potato chips.
Oh,
controversial.
Oh yeah.
And this week I'm just gonna have a Verner's and a Faygo ginger ale.
I think you should, even though you're trying to do the Detroit situation, I will compare. You can't compare ginger ale to anything. Like Verner's is in a whole league by itself.
I heard that's what people say.
When I was growing up, when you were sick, your mom gave you soup and a Verner's like it was medicine. Like that's it.
Well,
that's how we grew up. So I don't know. You might have to play on that. I don't know, Robert, because that Verner's is a whole nother life. It's medicine. It's medicine. It wins. It wins no matter what.
Well, listen, I'm here. I'm moving to the west. We'll have a house in the west side. I work on the west side. I work for the Detroit Lions Academy. I'm the lead ELA teacher for the middle school over there, which used to be the old Frederick Douglass High School.
Yes.
I'm here. I'm in the city. So when you have an event, I want to be there and support. And when I
come to church, so we need to just figure this out.
I'm coming. I need to come. Listen, I'm a little scared of Twinkie. I can't see Twinkie Clark. She scares me because she's got because she's no joke. That woman is a genius.
Yes.
and I love Dorinda, and I love Jackie, and I
If
love.
you're here this Sunday, because they're preparing to go on tour, so I
Yes.
don't want you to miss them. We'll talk offline. We'll talk offline. But you got to come to church. And
Okay,
we're friends now, Robert. Like
we're friends.
we're
I want to
friends.
meet your wife. I want to go to dinner. I'm ready.
Yes.
Listen, everybody needs to follow. Before JeeMell is a big Broadway star, he's on tour or he's in New York City. You need to follow him. Get on it while you can. You can follow him on Instagram. If you're in the city or you're in the surrounding Metro Detroit and you call yourself a Detroiter, you make sure you know that at the end of September, Our in Church is going to be back. So we're all going to show up and show out for that as well. And then we're going to be following and be ready for whatever you got up your sleeves. We're here for the whole experience.
Thank you so much. I guess my question is, what Coney Islands have you been to?
Okay, don't be mad at me, JeeMell.
No, Rob. If you're about to tell me you haven't been yet,
I have been. You don't like it. I have a problem with mustard.
Okay, so, tell them you don't want it.
Because when I ate the Coney dog on the show,
okay,
the mustard is a tough sell for me. Am I going to get in trouble for saying no mustard? Then I went to.
My wife doesn't eat it with onions, and so it's just everyone has their feel of how it does to make them feel better.
Then I went to a Coney on 8 Mile, and I was told that I shouldn't have gone there because it hasn't been known to be the cleanest place.
Probably so. But also, you can't be out past a certain time. We'll talk offline. But the one on 6 Mile and Schaefer is where you need to go before 5. You need to go between the hours of 9 and 5.
Listen, Mom, he's kidding. I'm perfectly safe, Mom. I'm fine.
Listen, Mom. I've been here all my life, and I never even saw a mouse until I went to Baltimore. So when I tell you Detroit is not as scary as I said,
Baltimore
I lived in Baltimore for 10 years, and trust me, in Detroit we beat the horn when people go to prom, and I beat the horn in Baltimore, and they were ready to shake me. So listen, it's not as tough as it seems here.
But I'm still not going to 6 Mile and Schaefer after 5.
You're not.
No, it was so funny because when I moved here, we were looking at houses, and it was a real conversation about the area, and I didn't get it because I just thought like, look, I lived outside of New York. People think there's areas of New York that are not good, but in reality, New York is New York. Like if I'm in Harlem or Washington Heights or it's fine. I'll survive.
Okay.
But I was told when I moved here, like, no, Robert Bannon is not going to live anywhere here.
I can't wait to talk offline with you. We can't even give y'all this much.
JeeMell Green is here.
We can't even give y'all this much.
We love JeeMell Green. We'll be following him. We got to have you back on the show. Maybe we got to do it in person.
Absolutely. This is amazing. I'm just grateful for the opportunity. Thank you. I am a fan of yours. So the fact that little old me is here and you sharing your platform, your space, and a New Yorker coming to Detroit, we're literally just switching sides. So you can have Detroit. I'm going to take New York soon and very soon. And we'll go from there. But I appreciate you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for this space. I'm so grateful.
We'll be here. We'll be following. We'll be sharing. We'll be a part of it. And there'll be a lot more JeeMell Green in the coming weeks on the Roundtable because we're just going to steal him and have him back. Thank you for being here.
No problem, man. Take care. We'll talk soon.